When building out your business process, sometimes you'll have to use a variable to make some more dynamic decisions in your workflow. And sometimes you actually have to set that variable value. It can come directly from an item property, it can come from a workflow constant, or you can actually just hard code that value in. For example, if you were running through a loop of collection items and you need to set the index value as 0, but you want that index value to increment later, but you've got to go and reference a variable for it to continuously add a new value to the integer. That's where you would use a set variable, for example. But to set that integer as 0, how do you do that? Well, you'd use the set variable action. So I've already dragged one onto the canvas. If you don't see it in the action pane, simply type set variable in the search bar, and then you'll see the action appear. Just drag and drop that action onto the canvas. To configure it, simply click on the action itself, and it's pretty basic when you get in. And what you want to do is you want to choose the variable to set. Now, I've got some that I've already created, but none of them are integer type values. So I need to create a variable before I start and setting a value of 0 to this integer. So I'll click on variables up top, and then I'll click on new. And here I'm able to create a new workflow variable. And so what I want to do is I want to call this int, and we'll just call it index. And what I want to do is set it at an integer value here. And there's already a default value of 0. If you need to apply a different default value to it later, feel free. But I'll click on save. I'll click on close because we've already created it. And then I'll hit the drop down for set, and I'll choose index or integer index. And there I have the ability to say it equals a value, or otherwise I can choose up some other information here, but we'll use a value, and I'll choose 0. And that will allow me to create a set value for 0 for this integer index. And if I ever wanted to then increment it, all I have to do is maybe use another option here called math operation. So if I ever wanted to use this value of 0 for the integer index, I can set it here and use that for maybe collection operations or math operations at a later point.